Yeah. Can you make me the co-host Mataji also, if possible?
Oh, did I not make you? I thought I made you.
Mataji.
I'll make you. I'll make you. Yeah, you're also co-host. Yeah. So today we are going to start our 15th day journey, doing the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, namely the Purushottama Yoga. So we start as usual with our prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitan Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Nirvishesh Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. Now offering my obeisances to Shri Radha Govinda of the ISKCON temple at Nantur, Mangalore, seeking the grace of my founder Acharya, our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, and my Shiksha Guru, blessings of my Shiksha Guru, Namanishtha Das Prabhuji. I start the day's session. So the name of this chapter is, yes, you are audible. Yes, tell me.
Mataji, by mistake, Sudha V Mataji is needed to be the co-host. Supposing
there are two Sudha Matajis, is it? I didn't know that.
Okay, Mataji, it's okay. No worries. I think Mataji has, yes, because I think Mataji has a little not so comfortable with his screen sharing and everything.
So what is Sudha V is one.
Mataji, please raise your hand. Yeah.
So what is the initial of others?
She has raised her hand.
Okay.
And let Sudha Mataji be also there. Let both Sudha Mataji be there. And if it is possible, You can.
So one Mataji is already, I think I've made her the co-host.
Let her be Mataji. Let her be Mataji. But we can make Sudha Mataji also. And we.
Okay, now?
Yeah, Mataji. Hare Krishna. No
Hare
issues.
Krishna. Very
Thank you,
good.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Good for telling me, because I wouldn't have known otherwise. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So the name of the chapter is the Supreme Person. It's about the Lord. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, Purushottama Yoga. It seems to be a small chapter with only 20 shlokas, but the depth of knowledge is quite a lot. So we need enough time to complete even half the portion. It's very nice. I'll be doing it leisurely, slowly, as per the request of certain people. I will not rush through. We'll make the concepts clear. Now, in this chapter, you have a lot of logical thinking is there. You have to imagine, extend your imagination quite a bit. So it's not, it's a bit, I can't say, I don't want to scare you now only. It's complicated. It's very interesting. Concepts are very interesting. Only thing is, certain point, you may not be able to understand beyond a certain point. Don't worry. It will be redone in L3, L4, and so on. So try to understand as much as possible in this session. Okay. So the last chapter we did was the 3 modes of material nature. Okay. The 14th chapter. Now, a quick revision of that. Chapter 1 to 4, what is liberation and how the living entity is conditioned. Why is he conditioned? Okay, what is the reason? Okay. And 5 to 9, description of the binding of the pure soul by the 3 modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance. How is he bound by the gunas? Gunas are the ropes. What binds him there? Why is he bound? And what is his condition in that bound state? 10 to 13, recognizing the supremacy of a mode within a person. Now, how do you recognize the modes in a person? 10 to 13. 14 to 18, actions and death within the modes. So when a person dies in a particular mode, what sort of abode will he reach? It's sort of an awareness for us to stick on to a mode. It ensures us liberation. Because when we are told that the other modes are not going to assure us liberation, give us a secure place in the spiritual sky after our death, there's no point in going after those. It's better to shun them, better to switch on to the mode which is really the safest. Now, 19 to 27, transcending the modes. How do you transcend? So I keep on telling you, though the name is goodness, even the mode of goodness is not really enough to get liberated. Even in the mode of goodness, one can fall down to the cycle of birth and death, disease, old age, all will be accompanied with that. Okay. So what should we do when goodness is also not enough? It means that something beyond that. It is transcending the modes. It's about the last chapter. Now this chapter is Purushottama Yoga 15.1 to 5. The first 5 shlokas, it tells us about becoming detached from the material world. So the last chapter told us that we are entangled in the material world. We get contaminated. Okay, we can't rise. So the only option is to detach ourselves. How do we detach? We have to detach through the weapon of detachment. We'll come to that now. Okay, the reflection of the spiritual world. Now, what is this world? In this world, we have got love, hatred, envy, and beauty consciousness, then your enjoyment for all A to Z, colorfulness of the present world. It's all nothing but. You need not think that the malls you are having here, the well-lit, huge buildings like your Mysore Palace is the only one. It's in the material world. You will not get it in the spiritual world. It's all about notion. In fact, whatever we have in this material world is nothing but mirror reflection, water reflection of the spiritual world. Exactly. We have got the same what is there in the spiritual world. It's a reflection. Yet a reflection is a reflection. Is it not? It's not, though it is real to see that, but it is temporary. You stand in front of a mirror. Okay? You see your reflection. But the moment the mirror is not there, you can't see your reflection. So it is temporary. So we are going to discuss that in detail today. And then 6 to 11, Purushottama Yoga, transmigrations. That is the transmigration from the soul, from one body to another. How does it transmigrate? In 12 to 15, Krishna's position as the maintainer. Krishna is the creator, primary creator, though Brahma is the creator, secondary creator, Krishna is the primary creator. He maintains behind every act in the cosmic manifestation. Krishna's hand is there. Behind creation, behind maintenance, he only does, Vishnu does all the maintenance, and annihilation also, he has a role to play, okay, a remote role to play. 16 to 20, the 3 shloka Bhagavad Gita, summarizing the Vedas and the Vedanta kinds of living entities. We'll go to the chapters now, the shlokas. Who wants to chant the first shloka? Any hands raised, Meenakshi?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Sudha Mataji
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Sudha Mataji, please chant.
Mataji?
Yeah.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhva Moolam Adha Shakam Ashwattham Prahur Avyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Saveda Ved. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. The translation also is given there, I think, no? Is it not given there? Translation?
Yeah, sure. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
What? Hare Krishna. Now, what are we going to study here? The Supreme Lord said, there's an imperishable banyan tree. See, it doesn't die at all, but the material, the trees on Earth, on our planet, they have a life. Maybe 500 years, sometimes 2,500 years, 5,000 years, whatever. Even to this day, for your information, in Jyotisar, Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna by Krishna under a banyan tree only. There was a banyan tree there. Okay, but that banyan tree, I believe now it is getting it's 5,000 years ago actually. So it's now getting a little affected because of environmental pollution. Okay, so it's actually still for 5,000 years, but now it's perishing. So it is perishable. The trees on the material world are perishable, but in the spiritual sky, there is a banyan tree which is imperishable. It does not die. Where are the roots? The roots are upwards and its branches down. See the banyan tree is imperishable. That is a real tree in the spiritual sky. But now we speak of another tree whose roots are upwards and branches are downwards. See, normally in a tree, the roots are down, branches are upwards. Now, such a tree we do not see in nature. A tree with roots up and branches down, we don't see in nature. Okay, and the leaves are called the Vedic hymns. We'll come to it. I'll come to the secret part of it a little later. Why it is like that? What do we analogize that with? The leaves are the Vedic hymns, which they lay the strictures of the Vedic. What is there in the Vedas? One who knows this tree is a knower of the Vedas. If you understand this tree today, you're going to understand this tree. It means you would have almost attempted to learn the Vedas. Now, this is the tree. Now, this is the root, Brahma. Brahma is at the root. See, Brahma is always at the helm, is it not? Brahma is created by Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. And from the navel, the stalk comes. At the tip of it, there's a lotus. And in the lotus, Brahma is actually manifested. So that is actually the origin of creation. The creator of Brahma is, of course, Lord. Okay. So now from him come all, see, in the upper regions we see here, there are demigods. All these demigods, they're here on top regions. And there are Airavata. This is the Indra, Airavata, and all these, the divine, entities. As we come down, we see human beings here. There's man here, and here's a man cutting with an axe. Okay. Here we see there is sense gratification, religiosity. They're so devotedly worshipping. Economic development. The fruits are economic development. They represent. It's a lot of metaphors are here. Okay. You have to understand the metaphors. Now here we again human beings we see here, down here. Here there's a hunter. All human beings in the middle. And then below we have got the animals. Snake, tiger, the deer, and so on. Okay. So this is and these are the Vedic hymns. Actually, these are the leaves are the Vedic hymns. There are twigs here. A lot of twigs are there. Branches are there. All of you would have seen a banyan tree. Okay. It's unlike the other trees. It has got what are called as prop roots. They're called subsidiary roots or prop roots. The roots coming down from the branches downwards. See the root, the main root, the tap root, which is the mother of the tree, is below the earth. Okay. Now the roots coming down from the branches are hanging down. They're coming towards the earth. So the main root is moving from the earth towards upwards, and these roots are coming from upwards downwards. Any plant would you would have seen such a plant. And after a point of time, there are so many subsidiary or prop roots. They become so huge. They come towards the soil. They touch the earth also, and become so fast, so actually bulky. You don't understand after some time which is the main root and which is the subsidiary root. It's difficult to identify. Okay, and there's so many branches. You just can't make out where the beginning is, where the end is. So with that small introduction, we'll go to the next one. Yeah, I've got some reflections all as usual. Now, lessons that can be learned from this analogy or this metaphor, you can say, analogy of the banyan tree. Material world. First is the material world. Lord Krishna compares the material world to an inverted banyan tree with its root upward and branches downward because it is being reflected on the water. Just as I told you, such a tree is not non-existent. You don't see such a root at all. It's normally, even if a person is going, normally we stand on our feet. We don't see anyone standing on the head and walking. It's impossible. Okay. But for some time, maybe doing Shirshasana or hanging down the branch of a tree, then maybe you may see a person, but it is uncomfortable. It's not very comfortable. So comfortable is standing on the feet. Then where do you see such a tree? Just imagine a body of water. Could be a river, could be tank, could be lake, whatever. At the bank of the water body, imagine there is a tree. Okay. Now the tree is standing upright, definitely with the roots down and the branches up. That's how it is in the spiritual sky. Okay. It is compared to the spiritual tree, the real tree, eternal tree in the spiritual sky. Now what we see in the material world is nothing but a reflection of that tree in water. This can be seen of a tree standing on the bank of a body of water. The tree is analogized with the spiritual world, that is the real tree in the spiritual world, and the reflection to the material world. Okay, it's all topsy-turvy. It's actually perverted. It's all perverted, what we see in the material world. Opposite of that. Opposite is the same reflection, but it is not pure, in the pure condition state. The desires of the living entities are compared to water. Now, water is a nourishing element here. Okay, so water nourishes the the tree to grow. Now, there are two comparisons for water. One is desires. Now, why do we think we have come into the material world? I told you earlier in the last chapter, it's due to our desires. We desire. First and foremost, in the beginning, we become a fragmental part of the Lord's inner superior energy. They are fragments of that. Okay. Now, once we come out, see, as long as we were the parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, we were very, very uncontaminated, very pure, very transcendental, equal to God in our quality. But the moment we came out, we got separated from Him. We got exposed to the material nature. We got contaminated by the modes of nature. Okay, so now here we see that why did we acquire different bodies? I have got my body, you have got your body, cat has got its body, dog has got its body, okay? Because of the desires. So the desire is compared to water, okay? And one more comparison of the water is the modes of material nature. So our modes also nourish ourselves. So if you are in mode of goodness, it is good nourishment, okay? Mode of passion, it is negative. It's not really good. Whatever it is, our modes they make what we are, okay? They nourish us. Desires are the cause where living beings are situated. We are here because of our desires, okay? Bharat Maharaj wanted to become a deer, he became a deer in the following life. Desires are the cause, yeah. Or a living being performing fruitive activities. That is, the fruitive activities, desiring the fruits of his work, karma, is like a bird. And whatever it was, the same thing in our material life, you see people are jumping from here and there, jumping job to job, jumping from place to place, jumping from country to country, okay? In search of job, in search of their livelihood, okay? And like the bird, jumping from branch to branch, enjoying the fruits of the tree, which are dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, okay? Whatever dharma is actually religion, artha is finance, kama is attachment, affection, moksha is liberation. Now, all of these are actually stages, okay? Now, but they have to be, even artha, whatever you are, not kama, everything should have a support or background of spirituality. If it is without spirituality, it becomes adharma and anartha. It's anartha actually, okay? And even kama becomes meaningless. So we have to be careful of adhering to our spirituality. The material world is not only unreal and perverted reflection of the spiritual world, but it is temporary. As long as the water is there in the tank or your body of water, you see the reflection. Supposing it's not a river, it's a tank, okay? It dries up in summer, there's no water at all. Then do we see the reflection? We don't see. So the reflection of the tree depends on the presence of water. So we say that this reflection is temporary. A tree is not going to live forever. That's also very true. See, water is also an uncertain factor, and even tree itself is an uncertain factor, because all trees have got spans of life. Whatever it is, it may be 5,000 years or whatever, but still at the end of it, they're going to die. Similarly, all the living entities wandering in the material world are not going to be permanently situated at one place. They're all definitely mortals. They're not immortal. Based on their activities, there are two possibilities. Activities of living entities. What are the possibilities? Some living entities might get liberated from the clutches of material energy. That is when they transcend the modes of nature, they go beyond the modes of nature, they can get liberated. Let's see, that's one path, okay? And go back to the spiritual world. Other living beings are either promoted or thrown down into lower planetary system. So you can either go up or go down. Choice is yours. In the sense, you have to create such karmas that take you to the higher planetary systems. But that independence is given to you. The free will is given to you. You have to act according to the intelligence given by Lord. Okay? No living entity, right from Brahma to an insignificant ant, will live forever. All of us have to definitely go one day. Both have duration of lifespan, after which they have to take birth in a different body. Transmigration has to happen. Okay? Lord has said, this material world is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam, a place of misery and temporary, very temporary. Everything that we see in the material world actually exists in the spiritual world. Many people say, by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra or doing good things, being in Krishna consciousness, being in devotion, Navavidha Bhakti, all that, we say they're going to get liberated. They said, why liberation? They say, why liberation? This world is so colorful. So much as there is mall life here. There are mega malls. So much of Shimla is there, Nainital is there, the Kashmir is there. It is so beautiful. Now, why to for me leave all this and that beautiful clothes here and so much of variety here? Why leave all this and go to the spiritual world to go only meditation? Go and just sit there. Go close your eyes and keep on meditating, eating grass and roots. They think like that. Absolutely false. What they're thinking is absolutely wrong. In fact, the variety we are having in the material world is because it is there in the spiritual world. All the rasas, the Shanta rasa, the Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya are all reflections of the spiritual world. The love the mother shows towards the child is exactly the same love that Yashoda Mata was showing Krishna. And the love we see here in adolescence or whatever, that's exactly, but you shouldn't compare that way. It's that is seen even in the spiritual world. It's very pure there, but this is contaminated. It has got sense gratification. That is not in the spiritual world. Okay, so all these things, Sakhya, friendship, it is there too. It is here too. Dasya, there, here. We serve our bosses. We serve the people, society, serve the country. Okay. Then we have Shantarasa, which has neutral value. Okay, like the cows and the flute and all that. Our inanimate things present all over. Some inanimate, animate, which don't react, straight away. So all what we have here is there in the spiritual world. Not only that, much more. Here we need to see. Supposing you go to a mall, if you like to, it's well-lit mall, or even let us take Mysore Palace. It's so beautifully illuminated, Or say in Vrindavan, when I had been recently, there was a musical fountain there, okay, with a lot of, coloration. The moment there is no current, everything is closed. They say, sorry, it's closed. Okay. Generators are there, but sometimes they cannot cater. Even they have a limitation, they can't go beyond. So say things can stop in the material world. The spiritual world, there is no need of light, no need of sun, no moon, no stars, no electricity, always lit. There's no chance that you have no vision there. And beautiful vision, always. All are so beautifully dressed. They're decorated. They've got their spiritual bodies. And all the gardens are so green, lush. And the flowers are so beautiful. And rivers are water is so clean. And minds are so clean. No envy, nothing, all good things. So don't think spiritual world is dry. High and dry. It is very beautiful. So everything is just a reflection we are saying here. And we are enamored by this only. Just imagine if we are elevated to Goloka Vrindavana, how much you will enjoy that? Much, much, much more. Okay. The form and quality in spiritual world is completely different. Made up of actually Satchitananda, eternal, knowledgeful, and blissful. It has got all that. But in material world, no, that is not there. Okay. It is there today in the mall. When the current goes away, they'll close the shops. You have to go away that day, you go home that day. You can't realize your dreams, what you wanted to buy and all that. So, but that is not the case in the spiritual world. It's just it eternally lit actually. Nothing in the spiritual world is formless. People have the Mayavadis think that things are formless. Actually, that's actually impersonal. No. Everything is a form. Everything is so beautiful. The cows are so beautiful. They give so much of milk. You can't even measure that milk. They keep on continuously giving milk. They never stop giving milk. See the milk, the cows on earth, they can stop after some time. There's senility and all that. But in the Goloka Vrindavana, they eternally give most nutritious milk. And see, look, fruits are par excellent. Everything is so tasty, so beautiful. Okay. Now here, nothing is formless there without any quality. There are qualities there existing as impersonal light. Okay. It is very much personal. It is not at all impersonal. It is personal. The leaves are compared to the Vedic hymns. So Vedic hymns means what? Whatever is laid in scriptures, the leaves are compared to that. They're green. They sort of give spiritual knowledge. So a lot of logical extension has to be done here. Everything is difficult to understand. I definitely, but I'm trying to go very slow and try to explain as it is in the scriptures. The living entity is hopping from branch to branch, trying to taste the fruits called Dharma, Artha, Kama, etc. One should not become bewildered by the leaves and fruits of enjoyment. Okay, you should not really get bewildered by that. One needs to understand. You should not get attached to the leaves, attached to the fruits, and keep on enjoying. You should understand the purpose of the Vedas. What do the Vedas say? What the Vedas, the purpose is to know the Lord, which is to know the Lord, the compiler of the Vedanta. Now Shloka 2, one has to take, I think the Shloka 2. Shloka 2 is not mentioned. Right. Shloka 2 here. This is 3 and 4. Shloka 2 is missed. We'll take the Shloka. No problem. Yeah. Now who will take the Shloka? Can you see the screen? Adaschordvam.
Yes,
Is-
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Ajay Prabhuji is there.
Prabhu, please take.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Adha cha urdhang prasutastasya shakha guna prabrudha vishaya prabala adha cha mulanyanu santatani karmanubandhini manushya loke.
Manushya Loke. Yeah.
The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the object of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive action of human society. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Very nice. Yeah. So and this is the second shloka. If you see here, then this we see the roots are up and the branches are downwards. And then my reflections, I'll just give it to you. Now, the branches of this banyan tree are spread in all directions. Okay. In the lower parts, there are variegated this I've explained to you. Variegated manifestations of living entities. What do we see in the lower parts? Actually, human beings are there, animals are there, horses, cows, dogs, cats, all are there. Whereas on the upper part are the higher forms of living entities, demigods, Gandharvas, and many higher species of life. As a tree is nourished by water, so this tree is nourished by the three modes of material nature. So water is analogized to two things. One is desires, other is the modes of material nature. Just as some tracts of land are barren, if you now come to the land area, imagine, now as you're walking, going in a vehicle, say, some tracts of land are very barren. They look very dry and high, because there's no water there. And that it's followed by again a tract which is very green, lush green. There is water availability there. So depending on water, either vegetation grows or does not grow. If it grows, it is green. Doesn't grow, it becomes barren. Okay, depending on the prevalence of particular modes of nature. So depending on the modes of nature, different species of life are manifested. So even that depends. So even our manifestation of the different species depends on the modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. The twigs of the tree are considered to be the sense objects. What are the sense objects? They are the sight. Okay, we see with the sight is connected with eyes, smell, nose, sound, ears, taste, mouth or tongue, form, eyes again, touch, skin, okay, and so on. So twigs of the branches of the tree are compared to the sense objects. They're called objects. We go to the screen. Yeah. By the development of the different modes of nature, we develop different senses. Okay. Now, what are they? We have the eyes, we have the ears, the nose, skin, mouth, analogized to tips of the branches. Now, the branches have got, the branch is the main thing. The branch has got twigs. Twigs have got tips. Now, tips are compared to the senses. and the twigs are compared to the sense objects. Okay. Now, through the senses, we enjoy different varieties of sense objects. The senses are associated with the enjoyment of different sense objects. So different sense of whatever you can see, whatever you want, is it not? It not necessarily you may see, ocean, or you can see a beautiful garden, or you may see mountains with the eyes. The sight is not the same, keeps on changing, is it not? With the eyes, we can enjoy all that. Ears, we can hear to any type of music. We can hear to Venkatesh Suprabhata or Vishnu Sahasranama or some mundane music, whatever. Different types of sense objects can be actually experienced through the senses. The senses are associated with the enjoyment of different sense objects. Different sense objects. It could be anything. Okay. Whatever you're seeing. The subsidiary roots are attachments and aversions. Remember, attachments and aversions. Attachment is good. Good. Aversion is negative. Okay. Which are the byproducts of different varieties of suffering and sense enjoyment. If attachment is there, good attachment is there is sense enjoyment. If aversions are there, hatred is there, suffering. So they depend upon the roots, what the roots actually, what is actually there manifested. The tendencies towards piety and impiety, being pious and being impious, tendency. That is in all of us. It's not always pious, not always impious. We change. Are considered to develop from the secondary roots, which spread in all directions. Again, the real root is from Brahmaloka. The real root is not on earth. It is in the Brahmaloka. Okay. And the other roots are in the human planetary systems. The other things are all in the human part. We come to the material manifestation. After one enjoys the results of virtuous activities in the upper planetary systems, okay, supposing you go to Brahmaloka, you have done a lot of goodness, and you still have to come back. You have to take birth and all that is there, but then you enjoy the best life there. He comes down to this earth and renews his karma. After maybe longer time, if you have 100 years on earth, then maybe 1,000, 10,000 years are a little longer there, and all affluence, beautiful, enjoy excellent enjoyment there. But at the end of it, he has to come back. Once he comes to on earth again, he has to renew his karmas, okay, or fruitive activities for promotion. Again, the whole thing starts back to square number one. You have to again rise up, okay, which are done in the earlier life to go to Brahmaloka. This planet of human beings, the earth, is considered the field of activities. Okay, and the same thing, the same tree has been mentioned here. This is actually a description. I think just what we, same thing, whatever. You can see it very, very clearly here. This tree is very clear here. Yeah, this is a tree. Look here, this is Krishna. Okay, this whole tree is in the spiritual world, eternal world. Okay, there is Radha Krishna are there here. There are Gopika Sris here and all that. There are a lot of their instruments are playing. And actually, this is Krishna. Okay, so Krishna in the spiritual world, Krishna is the creator of Brahma. And from Brahma, it is upright tree. Here, upright tree. But in the material world, it is ulta. It's actually reflection. Okay, temporary reflection in the material world. Now, here what we see, what is here behind Krishna would be Brahma actually in the material world. Okay, the same thing now we see here. He's in the beginning itself. He's not at the bottom. Here he is here actually below, but here is in the beginning. From here, from him, all the creations start. Now, this part of the tree, you can imagine the earlier tree. It's a lot of the demigods here. The demigods are here, and human beings are here, and there are animals and all that in this particular, but they're not shown here, but you have to imagine. These are the prop roots. I told you, the prop roots. So when you see this, you won't know which is actually main. You have to imagine which is the main root. They're so intertwining and all that, and even the branches are so very entangled. You can't make out which branch where. You don't know where you are. You get lost. It's other things have been actually explained to you. All same thing, tips of branches or senses and all that. We can pass on to the next one. Yeah. The third shloka. Yeah.
Sudha Mataji.
It's a very big shloka.
Sudha Mataji, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah. Can you see the screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Narupamasyeh tato palabhyate नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा ततः पतन्तः परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गता निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्ति प्रसुता पुराणी.
Very good, Mataji. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, the real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends. Yeah, 3 and 4 here. So, where it ends, where it begins. So entangled. Or in other trees we can make out. Mango tree we can make out. There is the beginning, where is the end, okay? In banyan tree, this is I thought this analogy is actually chosen, okay? Or where it is, its foundation is, even that we will not know. But with determination, one must cut down this tree with the weapon of detachment. So as long as we are attached, okay, we are in attachment, we are in the material mode. Now to elevate ourselves, we have to develop detachment. Now how do you develop detachment? Asanga shastrena. So asanga, the weapon of detachment, you have to detach it. That is Krishna consciousness. So doing, that is devotion. So doing, one must seek that place from which, having gone once, one never returns. So through devotion, through Krishna consciousness, through all, sort of spirituality, you reach the liberated. That's Goloka Vrindavana. You never returns from there. Brahmaloka we return, Satyaloka we return, Janloka we return. But remember, Goloka Vrindavana, Vaikuntha planets, there's no return at all. So we have to see, what should we do now? See, we are entangled, completely entangled. Imagine us only, we are in the tree, okay? Now we want to come out. Now, how long can you be there? Is it comfortable to be there in a tree like that? Not comfortable. You have to come out of it. Now, how do you come out? You're completely entangled there. You have to cut somewhere, the roots are actually binding you. Imagine all that, okay? What you have to do, you have to cut your attachment with the tree, okay? You can't cut the branches, your attachment. Say wherever you are attached, okay? Just cut those parts and you free yourself. Don't bother about the things. Let the tree grow. Other living beings are there, but you should come out of it. So doing, one must seek that place from which, having gone once, no one returns, and then surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Surrender word is very, very important. In the entire chapter, we are going to stress on that particular aspect. We have to surrender ourselves to actually get liberation. From whom? From Godhead, from whom everything has begun. So whole thing has begun from Lord Krishna. Though in the tree you saw just now, Brahma is giving rise to the whole thing, but who created Brahma? Lord created Brahma, and in whom everything is abiding since times immemorial. So everything is in actually Krishna. So that you have to understand and behave accordingly, okay? The real form of the banyan tree is not to be seen in the material world, okay? It exists in the spiritual world, it is there. The root of the reflected tree is upwards, and this extension of the real tree is at the other end, okay? Of the real tree. See, the root is of our tree, the material tree is upwards. I showed you that from where Brahma, everything starts, demigods and all that. And the extension of the real tree is at the other end. The branches are at the other end. Entangled within the material expansions of the tree, all of us, we and all living entities, the extent of the tree cannot be seen. See, we're entangled there. Maybe from outside, I can see you in the tree where you are. But when I'm entangled myself there, I can't know. I don't know where I am. I'm lost in the branches. The origin of the tree also cannot be located. I cannot see where I can't disentangle myself. Origin of the tree, I cannot see. Look at my lost condition. That is the condition of person in the conditioned mode of life. We are all like that in the material world. We are lost actually. We don't know why have we come, we don't know. What we are doing, we don't know. Where we have to go, we do not know. Okay? We are toiling day and night, Why we are toiling, we do not know. Okay, what is the purpose of life? We do not know. We're so confused. However, the cause has to be traced, but do not know the answer? Can you take an excuse under that pretext? No. We have to trace the cause. Why did we come here? What is my purpose? What should I really realize in this lifetime, human birth? It may come to end any, I told you yesterday, any moment, please. I'm not scaring anyone at all because I'm not myself scared. Any moment the end will come. You may be hale and healthy or deceased or just, absolutely fine. Some people talk as they're talking, the life, the soul leaves the body. So it can happen. So that point, that means human life is that limited, so temporary. So till then, you just imagine that, you're going to die the next moment. Do the best of things. Live life. Don't live in fear. Fear, I don't believe. No one should live in fear. Fear is not at all in our dictionary. Okay. You should know that, it's going to be, see, supposing you go to a foreign country, Europe trip or, America or somewhere, you have got 3 months or whatever the duration, you're going to stay there. Every moment you want to make the best use. You want to see everything there, enjoy everything, be happy with people. The same way, see, that is not a permanent thing. Yeah, wherever you have gone, Europe or America or Japan or China or wherever, you have to come back. So you want to use every moment there the same way. Or even say Kashmir or in India, any place, you have to return. So you want to, every day you want to enjoy to the maximum. Same way, enjoy your life as human beings here. Celebrate your human life, okay? And that you can do by doing good things, being in mode of goodness, okay? Or doing very nice things, and always in spirituality. Because you know that, you're sure if you're in spirituality, think of Krishna consciousness is going to take you back to a world from which there is no return. What else do we want? Tell me. Nothing at all. Momentary, you may feel, oh, let me, take birth and it's so nice, it's a beautiful world, I'll come back to this world. Again, that is a notion. It's a notion. Only you feel it's all unreal happiness, not real happiness at all. But again, by chance, I'm telling you one more thing. A pure devotee does not want liberation. It does not want Goloka Vrindavana. He says, Krishna, give me birth after birth, it doesn't matter. But give me your devotion. Make me born, give me birth into a family which is devoted. So I can also be dovetailed with them in devotion. I want your devotion, Krishna. Kunti prayed the same thing, and every devotee prays the same thing. So in case what I'm trying to tell you is this, supposing you be on that, let us be very play safe. You'll be in the mode of goodness. Okay. Now supposing we are elevated to Goloka Vrindavana, fine. You'll be serving God there. Supposing with all that we come down, and in fact, now why do the saints take birth? Tell me, so many great saints. They are elevated souls. They could have gone to Goloka Vrindavana, but God sends them back with a purpose to elevate humanity. So, in case we are reborn, let us always pray to be born in a good family, and then be in devotion, be in Krishna consciousness, then elevate the others. See the way we are spending lifetime now, no? God should grace us this life in the next birth also. That we have to pray. So either way, we are happy. If you go to Goloka Vrindavan, also we are happy. We come back to earth, we are also happy. But what we want is your devotion, Krishna. That's very important. Okay. However, that causes to be traced. Analogy, like how I am the son of my father is the son of so and so, etc. So you trace, is it not? And ultimately go to some person, great grandfather. The family root is traced. Such a search reaches one to Brahma. If you go on searching that way, all of us go to Brahma only. Okay. Generated by Garbhotaka Sai Vishnu. Okay. The next week, I have promised you, I'll be doing Goloka Vrindavana chart for you all. First day, Saturday, we'll be doing other part of Purushottam Yoga, and the second day, we'll devote to detailed study of the Goloka Vrindavana. Finally, the search ends. Where does it end? Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he is the creator of Brahma. This is achieved only by the association of persons who know about the Lord. So what is important? We should always be in satsanga with people who know the Lord. On acquiring this knowledge, okay, one becomes gradually detached from this false reflection of reality. When you get knowledge, reality, false things, all they disappear. You come to true situations, situating himself in a real tree. The word asanga shastrena, weapon of detachment, is very, 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 very significant. As an attachment for sense enjoyment and lording over the material nature is very strong. See, we are all attached to sense enjoyment. Okay, we all want to eat nice things, be happy. Sense enjoyment is so strong. So we have to cut it somewhere. How do you cut it? How do you cut it? With the weapon of detachment. After being enlightened, this is how you do it, no? By association of devotees, one must first surrender to the surrender is a very important thing aspect in the chapter. You have to surrender to the Lord through using the weapon of detachment. Once you detach from material life, get attached to Krishna. That's all. Okay. Once one succeeds reaching the supreme abode, one never returns to this false reflected tree again. The Supreme Lord is the original root from whom everything has emanated. He is the origin, actually. Lord has himself said, Aham sarvasya prabhava, he says, I am the origin of everything. Devotional service has to be done through Navapida Bhakti. I told you yesterday what that is. Okay. The Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Sparanam, all those, you have to do Bhakti. Always Bhakti, devotion, surrender. This is what is wanted from all of us. Therefore, to get out of the entanglement of the strong banyan tree of material life, one must and should surrender to Krishna. As soon as one surrenders to Krishna, he becomes detached automatically from his material extension. Okay? And this is another flow chart. I think all this we have done. We can just quickly go through. The real form of this tree cannot be seen in the world. Okay, a tree is not real. It is a reflection of the real tree in the Brahmaloka, Brahmaloka, Janaloka. Impossible to fully understand the real tree. No one has understood actually, not only we. Okay, now cut down this with determination, with the acts of detachment. Okay, then one must go beyond the tree and surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, important the words satsanga, asanga is there. Why real form of tree cannot be understood? Why can't we understand? Because the root is up and extension is at the other end. We have not seen such a tree in the material world. How can you understand? Okay. When we're entangled in the material expansion, one cannot see how far the tree extends and where it extends. Now, how to find out the cause? Father, all that, you need to ultimately reach Krishna. Krishna is the end of the research work. How to reach out that origin? With association of devotees. Okay. Then lastly, what are the benefits of this knowledge? What do you gradually become detached from false reflection, cut off this connection, actually become situated in the real tree, in the Brahmaloka. Okay? Now this is Asanga Shastrena Dridena Chitva. That is the meaning. We have to cut it. So with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Detachment is the only way out of the tree. Can't do anything else. How do you do it? In 15.4 it is mentioned, find one, of course, in knowledge. Okay. Then 15.5 it is mentioned about surrender to Krishna, and in 6 it is mentioned attain the eternal abode. Okay. Now fifth one shloka, who will read this? Anyone reading? Any hand raised, Nakshi? Oh, 7 participants.
Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, please give them all chance. Give
Mataji.
all 7 chance. Yeah.
Momita Mataji is there.
Oh,
Hare Krishna,
welcome.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Nirmana moha jita sangadosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama devandevar vimukta sukha dukkha samgye gachante mura padam avyayam tat.
Gachanti amudaha padam avyayam tat. Yeah.
Tat.
Translation.
Those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who unbewildered know how to surrender into the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So this is a person who has actually surrendered will actually reach the Golaka Vrindavana. He'll reach Almighty. Okay. But these people have not surrendered. They are where they are. So surrender is very, very important. Okay. This verse describes the significance of surrender. How do you surrender? Okay. Firstly, what should you do? Deluded one should not be deluded by pride. You should not be proud at all. It is be very humble. First thing. When the conditioned soul thinks he, not the Lord, is the Lord of the material nature, that's a problem. He thinks I am the Lord. Where is the Lord? Maybe Lord is in his work, in his world, Goloka Vrindavana, but on this earth, I am the Lord. He thinks that is very, very wrong. And he has to surrender to the Lord. It becomes difficult. When you think that way, so difficult. Cultivation of real knowledge makes him cognizant that the Supreme Person is the Lord. So real knowledge he has to get from the devotees and the scriptures, and he realizes that God is supreme, not he. Okay. The process of surrender begins here. It actually begins here. You go to office, there's a CEO there, and you go there. If you think you are the CEO, so difficult. How can you manage? You'll be sent out after some time. You'll be kicked out. Is it not? You can't behave like that. You can't lord over in that office. It is someone else's office. Okay. So you have to accept that he is the CEO. You are a servitor there. Then you are safe. Okay. One always expecting some honor in this material world cannot surrender to the Supreme. If you want honor, mana apamana. Don't care about your mana apamana, honor, dishonor, nothing. Be very humble, humility. If you don't have it, you can't obviously surrender to the Lord. Yeah. What happened to the screen? Screen went off.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
You can't
The
see
presentation
the
has, yeah, Mataji. The presentation has stopped, Mataji, somehow.
stop. No, it is there. Yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah. Pride is due to delusion. Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji. It's not
Yes.
been visible.
Not visible?
Not visible, Mataji. It might have stopped sharing.
What does it happen? A moment. The screen. Yeah. I'll share. If some technology problems happen. Yeah. No, it's fine. I'm sharing also. Can you see now?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yes,
You can
Mataji.
see now. Good, good, very good. Yeah. Yeah, things happen. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, let me go to this. The pride is due to illusion. You're all Maya. All is due to just Maya. Just Maya. Okay. As although one comes here, stays for a brief time, and then goes away, he has a foolish notion that he is the Lord of the world. See, how long are we there? Maximum, 100 years, but minimum can be anything. Okay. But we think that we are the lords. Such a brief time we start lording over. The associations caused by familial, social, national affections are an illusion binding one to the material world. You think that, family is everything, your society is everything, the nation connections are everything. They're all illusory. It is all temporary, nothing. And even the family, husband, wife, children, all of that, illusion. It's all illusion. We have come from different roots, different samskaras have come. We are in one place because, we chose to be here. And after our leaving the soul, the body, where it goes, we do not know. So it's an illusion that it's my family all till we are there. Okay. Detaching from these, one has to develop spiritual knowledge. So don't get always, you say, have affection, no attachment. Okay. If you have attachment, problem comes. Okay. Affection should be there. Okay. But don't convert that to attachment. The mundaner should differentiate what is his own and what is not his own. See, what is my own here? Nothing. Only my soul and my body. My body also is not my own. It's going to go one day. Okay. After the body is completely worn out, it's going to leave. The soul alone, that's mine. That's all. Okay. That we have to understand. That is through knowledge we get it. This rids him of all dualities like happiness and distress, pleasure, pain, etc. For instance, your close one is suffering. Okay. Your mother or father or someone, very close to you, husband, children, they're suffering. Okay. Now, of course, in attachment, we are terribly in distress. You feel the world should come to an end. You also should go along with them. You don't want to live with them. Is it possible? Tell me. It is their journey. We have our journey. Okay. Now, when do you understand that? When you need knowledge, real knowledge. You should know that you are spirit soul, not the body. And even they are spirit souls, not the body. Their body is suffering, not the soul. Okay. Their body is suffering, not the soul. And once the soul leaves the body, the soul has no pain. It's going to transmigrate into another body. Okay. The subtle body creates another body for itself. It enters that body. So, then we know this knowledge, all distress, happiness, pleasure, pain, all we are rid of it. Okay. Once in full knowledge, he is able to surrender himself to the Supreme Lord. Sometimes. And this is a flow chart again. I think this we have done actually. Who will be able to surrender to the Supreme Person? Who actually, we did that shloka actually. Nirmana, that is one who is free from false prestige and pride. Okay. Then, here, freedom from illusion is very important to surrender. You have to be out of illusion. Jita Sangha dosha, that is, freedom from false associations. Okay, don't have false. See, even family, society, you should have it. I don't mean to say no, but not beyond a limit. You have to know where you have to stop. Adhyatmaitya, it is, understand the eternal Lord. Dvandvai vimuktaha, it is freedom from dualities of distress, freedom, distress and happiness, all those. Vinivritta kamaha, it is done with material lust and bewildered. So when you do all this, you'll be able to, in a position to surrender to the Almighty. Now, 6 to 11, we'll be doing only up to 10 shlokas today. Okay, who will take this shloka? This is
Mataji, can I?
Oh, definitely, dear. You can take it. Yeah. Please start.
न तद्भाषयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्क न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, beta. Very nice. Yeah. Now, that abode of mine is not illumined by sun or moon. I told you, no sun, no moon, no electricity, nothing there. When who reaches, it never returns to the material world. This verse describes the spiritual world, how beautiful it is. The abode of the Supreme Lord, known as the Krishna Loka or Goloka Vrindavana. In the spiritual sky, no need of sunshine, no moonshine, nothing required, no electricity, because all planets are self-luminous. See, in the material world, only sun is self-luminous. Okay. Now even the moon gets a reflection of the sun. Okay. But then here in the spiritual sky, everything is luminous. Even people are luminous. They're so bright, There's no need of any electricity. There's no light, artificial light required there. We have only one planet in this universe, the sun, which is self-luminous. But all planets in the spiritual sky are self-luminous. Now, how do you say it is less colorful and less beautiful? It's very beautiful. The shining effulgence of all those planets called Vaikunthas constitute the shining sky known as Brahma Jyotir. That is the Brahma Jyotir. It is the Brahman effulgence. Actually, the effulgence is emanating from the planet of Krishna, Goloka Vrindavana. It's coming from there. That is what we called in the Brahman realization. You've got Brahman realization, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Okay, that's the Brahman realization. Part of that shining effulgence is covered by Mahat Tattva in the material world. So why are we not able to enjoy that? Because it's covered by Mahat Tattva. What is Mahat Tattva? The total material substance. Okay, and that was created by Karnodakasai Vishnu. And all these things will coming in the Goloka Vrindavana chart. Actually, I'll tell you what exactly Mahat Tattva, how it is created and all that. It's nothing but the total material substance. Okay, it covers the effulgence, so we can't get it. We can't enjoy it. The major portion of the shining sky is full of spiritual planets called Vaikunthas. Okay, chief of which is Goloka Vrindavana, where Krishna is there. There are two-handed forms in Goloka Vrindavana, but in Vaikunthas there are four-handed forms. Okay, as long as a living entity is in this dark material world, is in conditioned life. Okay, as soon as it reaches the spiritual sky, by cutting through the false, perverted tree of this material world, he becomes liberated with no chance of coming back. In the conditioned life, in our life, the life we are actually living now, the living entity tends to lord over the material nature. Now, these things keep on coming every now and then. They are parts of the shloka. We have to understand them. It reinforces that we are lording over the material nature. So, don't take it as repetitions, they're reinforcements, okay? On entering the spiritual kingdom, you go to spiritual Goloka Vrindavana, after liberation, he becomes an associate of the Supreme Lord, enjoying eternal bliss. So till here, all those illusions are there. But once you enter the spiritual kingdom, you become an associate of Krishna. You'll be walking with him, talking with him, seeing him, facing him, hearing him talk, playing with him, serving him, all that. Okay, Lord, what do you enjoy? Eternal, Satchidananda. You enjoy bliss, eternal life, and it's full of knowledge. So one should desire to transfer himself to that eternal world. Now, don't you think that we should all go to that world? Why suffer in this world? Is it not? For one, too much attached to this material world, detachment becomes difficult, obviously. You get attached, with all your family, your house, your property, your bank balance and all that, you don't feel like leaving the world. In fact, after a point of time, you should say that my bag and baggage is ready. Any moment I'm ready, I'm prepared to come. But if you have not settled your accounts, like you not made a will for your children, you have to make a will very well, when you're very good, conscious in health and sound in body and mind. Give everything away, what you have. Just have what you have on you, and then just what is required. You're able to leave. Less luggage, more comfort. Is it? Makes travel a pleasure. But here what happens, you're entangled in it. Why so much in gold, so much this, then you are difficult to leave the world. Okay. Only Krishna consciousness and association with Krishna conscious devotees can help him. Okay. Just a saffron attire is not sufficient. If you wear a saffron cloth, a robe, that is not at all enough. Internally, you have to have the detachment. He must become detached, the Lord in devotion. Navavida Bhakti has to do and get detached. Paramam Mama, Lord says that, means every nook and corner belongs to the Lord. Paramam Mama, everything is mine. Every nook and corner is mine, not yours. The spiritual world is Paramam, full of 6 opulences, all knowledge, all beauty, all opulences, all everything, all renunciation, all energy, okay, all strength. Okay, the Katha Upanishad 2.2.15 also confirms that in the spiritual world, there's no sunshine, no moonshine, no stars, but still it is so. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam. Nothing is there, nothing is required there also. The entire spiritual sky is illuminated by whom? Internal potency of the Supreme Lord. Such a supreme abode can be attained only by surrender and nothing but surrender. Okay, so surrender is very important. Now we come to the next sloka, 6th sloka, characteristics of Lord's. We have actually described all this. So how beautiful! Look at the cows, and Krishna playing the flute and the cute rabbit there. So this is actually what is Goloka Vrindavana. Now Tad Dhama Paramam. Okay, that abode is not illuminated by sun, moon, fire, electricity. Once attained, never returns to the material world. Okay. Now, just 3 more shlokas. Who will read this one? Mamai Vamshu, okay?
Hare Krishna. Sudha Mataji is there. Mataji?
There were 7 hands raised. Who are the 7 people?
Yeah. Hare Krishna Mataji. There was S. Meenakshi Mataji also. We can ask her, but she has not raised her hand anymore. Vijay Mataji was there. Again, Prabhuji, Suresh Prabhuji was there.
Yeah, let them chant. Give all them a chance.
Yeah, they have not raised their hand anymore. So I thought it's okay, Mataji. Meenakshi Mataji, if you are interested, please carry on.
Yeah, anyone, okay. Anyone, I don't mind, I was thinking let all get a chance. Anyway, to our next week is also there, but
okay. Hare Krishna, Sudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha Mana Sastani Indriyani Prakriti Stani Karshati. The living
Very nice, Mataji. Yeah.
living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. Thank you,
Yes.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. The verse gives the identity of the living being. What is a living being? Very interesting this is. I made my own reflections. Please, of course, taken from the purport. So my request is, please read the purports, of Prabhupada. We don't say anything on everything. What we say is what Srila Prabhupada has said. So when you read, you'll enjoy it more. The living entity is a fragmental part, and you know all this. Fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord eternally. Forever we are the parts and parcels. Though we now tomorrow go to Goloka Vrindavana, we will not merge with Krishna. We are going to be separate identities. We'll be having our own individuality. Okay. It is not that he assumes individuality in his conditional life, and in his liberated state becomes one with the Lord. Not like that. Here we are all separate. So Sudha Mataji, me, all your names, I know a few names I know. Okay, all the names. I think I've said it. No, you're individuals here. But don't think tomorrow when you go to Goloka Vrindavana, you're going to merge with the Lord. You still remain separate there. I didn't raise it. You will not mix with Lord. Okay, because already you have been separated from the internal superior energy of the Lord in entirety. Soul can't be it is the super soul, is it not? It can't be cut into pieces. You have to study that in the second chapter. Soul can't be cut into pieces. You can't fragment it. Entirety it has to come out, but a fraction of it comes out, okay? And that is we, okay? He's eternally fragmented. It is clearly said, Sanatanaha. According to Vedic version, the Supreme Lord manifests and expands himself in innumerable expansions like Vishnu Tattva, and then all the Lord Nrsimha, Narayana, all that, so many expansions are there. When they are called as the Vishnu Tattvas, Vishnu Murtis, of which the primary expansions are called Vishnu Tattva. The three, Kanodakasai Vishnu, Garbhodakasai, and Shuddhakasai. And the secondary expansions are the living entities. We are the secondary expansions. The Vishnu Tattva is the personal expansion, and the living entities are the separated expansions. So they're personal. They've got full, almost all opulences of the Lord in totality. We have got some of them, not all. Okay, about 50 or so we have, but then he has got 64. All he has. Okay, and slowly as we come down to Narayana and then Vishnu and then Shiva and Brahma, become lesser and lesser, and we have the least. By his personal expansion, he is manifested in various forms like Lord Rama, Nrsimhadeva, Vishnumurti, and all the predominating deities in the Vaikuntha planets. That is the personal expansions. They're equal to him. Okay, you can worship them also. It's equal. The separated expansions are we. Okay, the living entities. Now we are the eternal servitors. We are going to be eternally serving the Lord. Okay, the personal expansions of the Supreme Lord of Godhead, the individual entities of the Godhead are always present. They'll be always there. They're equal to the Lord. The separated expansions that we, living entities, have their identities. We don't lose our identity at any point of time. Okay? As fragmental parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, the living entities also have fragmental portions of his qualities. Of the 64 qualities, we may not have all, but we have some of them. Okay, the beauty, strength, and then determination, and then all those, many of them, we have, even the women actually, lot of qualities are from Krishna. Krishna has got a lot of feminine qualities also. And the women's, the wonderful qualities, beauty and all that, their softness and all that, he has it. So we have qualities from him, but not all of them. Okay. Now, so we have little, being here, his part and parcel, a lot of independence too. He's completely independent. Lord is completely independent, not dependent on anything. So we also must have set a little bit of independence. We have it. Okay, we all have it. We have that's called free will. But this free will given to us, we should use in the proper way. If you don't use in the proper way, you are ruined. Okay, by misuse of that independence or the free will, one becomes a conditioned soul. If you use it properly, you are not conditioned. If you misuse it, you are conditioned. Okay, dominated by the modes. What is misusing? You come under the three modes of material nature. And by proper use of independence is always liberated. Okay, you make the proper use, you go back to Godhead. In either case, is qualitatively eternal, as the Supreme Lord, in his liberated state, he is freed from this material condition and is under the engagement of transcendental service unto the Lord. If you are liberated, tomorrow we go to Goloka Vrindavana, Vaikuntha planets, then we always were engaged in what service? Not like a job, doing some mundane job here for someone and all that. No, nothing. You're working only for Krishna, all towards Krishna. Okay. So in either case, we are qualitatively eternal. Because Lord is eternal, we are eternal. So qualitatively, we and Lord are the same. No difference. But quantitatively, he is Vibhu, we are Anu. He is present in all the souls, every atom. We are present only in our body, not in all over. Okay. Forgets the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So once we become contaminated, the human being entity, what happens? And the living entity forgets his loving service for the Lord. That's all in Maya. Again, illusion. It's Maya. The living entities, not only human beings and the cats and dogs, but even the greater controllers of material world, Brahma, Lord Shiva, and even Vishnu, are all parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. They're actually personal expansions of the Supreme Lord. They're all eternal, but not temporary manifestation. We are temporary, but actually they're all eternal. That way, we are also eternal. We are not temporary. The body is temporary, it goes away, but soul is eternal. The word karshati, struggling or grappling hard, is very significant. Okay, as conditioned souls, we're all struggling to live, and we're shackled, shackled by chains, iron chains or silver chains or golden chains, whatever. In mode of goodness, golden chains. Mode of passion, silver chains. In the mode of ignorance, there'll be actually iron chains. So anyway, we are bound. Okay, he is bound by the false ego, living entity, and the mind is the chief agent which is driving him in this material existence. Mind is the cause. Manaya Manushana. Actually, my mind is very important. That's the cause for all our getting ruined. When the mind is in the mode of goodness, his activities are good. In passion, they are troublesome. In ignorance, they go to lower speeches of life. The conditioned soul, you see, this verse has so much of ingrained meaning in it. There's a lot of in-depth meaning in this. The conditioned soul is covered by the material body with the mind and senses. And when it is liberated, this material covering will perish. It just go away. Body goes away, everything goes away. The subtle body rises, okay? And with the soul and of course mind and intelligence. But senses will not go. Mind will go, intelligence will go, and then the soul will go. A super soul is always there. Subtle body will go, but other things will be left behind. But the spiritual body manifests itself in its individual capacity by the grace of the Lord. So we get a spiritual body. See, if they have committed so much of good deeds, we get a spiritual body by the grace of the Lord. The revived spiritual body. When you get a new body, spiritual body, not this mundane material body, you can see the Supreme God face to face. You can play with him. You can see him, talk to him. Okay, all that we can do. From Smriti, it is understood. Vasanti yatra purusha sarve vaikunta murtayaha. In the spiritual planets, everyone lives in bodies featured like Supreme Personality of Godheads. This is Purushottama Yoga. This is Purushottama Yoga. Actually, you have to understand, see, what is going to happen when we go to Goloka Vrindavana? We'll be like them. We'll get spiritual bodies, very nice bodies, interact on a daily basis. We're going to interact with him. As far as bodily construction is concerned, there is no difference between part and parcel of the living entities and the association of the Vishnumurti. So body is concerned, we are like exactly like the Vishnumurti. The two-handed form in the Goloka Vrindavana, four-handed in Vaikuntha planets. Yeah, all the same. Okay, but only thing is our souls definitely have their identities. They don't merge. No merging business, like the impersonalists say that. The words Mamai Vamshaha, that means fragmental parts and parcel of the Supreme Lord. That is Mamai Amshaha. That is my parts. Okay, are also very significant. The fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord is not like some material broken part. Not, like a fragment of, a piece of metal or something. Not like that. Not like that. Okay. The spirit cannot be cut into pieces. It is eternal. It is the entirety. It comes out as a portion. Okay. Now, for you take a duff of chapati. Okay, atta. You take one big ball like this. Okay. And from that you take a part of it. Okay. And then again roll off the first one. that is complete. And it's also is complete. It's round only. So it's and quality only in size that one is small, other is big. Otherwise, absolutely same. That's how it is. It can't be. There's nothing like cutting and taking a piece of it. Every grain of that the small bit you have plucked out will have all the qualities of the main atta. Is it not? The same way we also have everything same to Lord. Only thing is we are Anu is Vibhu. The fragmental portion is eternal, Sanatana. Each and every individual body possesses a fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord. Dehi no esmin, yatha dehe. So all of us are having a small part of the Lord's soul. His super soul, your soul. Paramatma, Atma. The fragmental portion, when liberated from the bodily entanglement, okay, revives its original spiritual body. It gets a spiritual body in the spiritual sky, in the spiritual planet, enjoys association with the Supreme Lord. Absolutely thorough enjoyment there, okay, with the Lord. We see here the 7th shloka. This is Golok Vrindavan. How beautiful it is. See? Krishna here, Gopa, so all the rasas, Vatsala rasa, this is Yashoda and Krishna. This is actually Shanta rasa. This is actually Dasya rasa. Okay. And again, Shanta rasa here. All the petals contain the rasas. So I'll explain that to you in the Golok Vrindavan child. You'll enjoy studying that. Original position, living entities are eternal parts and parcels. This has been done too, just quickly. They belong to Supreme Lord, and then we are struggling very hard in the current material existence. Okay. Now we come to the 8th shloka. Who is going to take this?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mahalakshmi Mataji is there.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please take.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Sariram yad avapnoti yacchapi utkramati swaraha grahitvaitani samyati vayur gandhan ivashayat.
Yeah. Translation.
The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another, as the air carries aromas.
Aromas, yeah. Hare Krishna, yeah. Just as air passes over something fragrant, it will carry the fragrance. It passes over something filthy, it carries the filthy air. That's how even the soul does. Here, the living entity means soul only is described as Ishvara. Okay, the control of this body. He controls our body. He's Ishvara. If he likes, he can change his body to a higher grade. Free will. He can do good deeds. He can go to higher planetary systems. If he likes, he can move to lower class. Minute independence is there. He can, if he doesn't do good deeds, he can go to the hellish planets also. Okay. The change his body undergoes depends on him. If he's in mode of goodness, he'll go to not only mode of goodness, transcending the mode of goodness. He will go to higher planetary systems. If he doesn't do it, he'll go to hellish planets. So it is his choice. At the time of death, the consciousness he has created will carry him onto the next type of body. That's how how the air passes over. Whatever it passes over, it carries that. The same way, the consciousness will carry whatever body he has actually he was living in. Okay. If what happened with Bharat Maharaja, he chose to be actually. He had a lot of attachment with the deed. Very next life, such an elevated soul he was, but still he had to take birth as a deer only. If you go and think about property, the bank balance, your saris, your garments and all that, you'll again be born in the mundane life, thinking of that, nothing beyond, nothing spiritual. You'll again come back, you'll keep on continuing. Try to, as you get older, in fact, even when you're young, you can do it, try doing it. Get detached from your things as much as possible. Food to eat. You have to eat to live, not live to eat. Okay? And garments to clothe yourself decently enough. No opulence required. So easy to get up and go when the time comes. No attachment at all. Okay? If you have a lot of attachment to your cosmetics, wait, you have to tell God, we have to apply this, I'll have to get dressed and come. Nothing. You have to just, you came this way without anything, you have to go the same way. Okay? Detachment is very important. If he has made his consciousness like that of a cat or a dog, he's sure to change to a cat's or dog's body. And if he has fixed consciousness on godly qualities, be very good, be pious, humble, be very nice all the while, you will change to a spiritual form of a demigod, go to a demigod position. As if he is in Krishna consciousness. And if he's in Krishna consciousness, he will be transferred to Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavana, in the spiritual world, and will associate with Krishna. He can play with Krishna also, okay? Yeah, 4 participants have raised their hands. You can give them the chance next, Meenakshi. It's a false claim that after the annihilation of this body, everything is finished. Many people say, what is where next birth? Nothing. Enjoy here completely, thoroughly. And then where is the Noah? Who saw who? Have you seen it? They ask us. Have you seen the next birth? They think after annihilation, everything is over. Very, very wrong. After annihilation, your real life starts. Liberation you get. And your real onward journey starts. The individual soul is transmigrating from one body to another. Okay? And his present body and present activities are the background of his next body. If you're in mode of goodness, you'll get a very nice family. You'll be born into a beautiful, wonderful family with devotional ambience in the house. You'll become a devotee. You're in a passionate family. See, one thing is family, other thing is you being passionate. You can also be in the mode of goodness in a passionate family. It can happen. Even then you will be elevated to higher skies, okay? And then the mode of ignorance, if you are in the mode of ignorance, you'll go to such a hellish, planet. It depends on you, what you are in this life, okay? One gets a different body according to karma. And he has to quit this body in due course. We have to. It is stated here that the subtle body, I told you subtle body. So imagine a person, whomever you know, is lying there after death. Don't think that only like they show in the pictures, when Jyoti, one light coming out of the body and going out and merging outside. It's not like that. The entire body, that's called a subtle body. The same shape, same features as the main body will be there. It's called a subtle. It rises from the main body, carrying the intelligence and the mind and the soul, super soul, everything is there. It rises, and it would have created a body for itself and goes and enters there in ideal conditions. But sometimes, there are so many, it's a very complicated concept. You are either sent to a place according to your desire, or you choose your place. There's so many things. It's very complicated science. Soul science is a bit complicated. Anyway, you quit as a subtle body, okay, which carries the conception of the next body. See, next body, what you're going to have, its concept is already ready. It's created, the body is created, develops another body in the next life. Subtle body develops the next life. So that's why people suffer a lot, when they say, I want a change of body now. Almighty, please give me a change of, please create my body, I want to go there. Okay, it happens. This process of transmigrating from one body to another and struggling while in the body is called karshati. Some people, accidents happen, so diseases are there, so many things, they struggle in this life. They have to, you really feel sometimes, you shouldn't really let God give them the liberation. Let them get mukti. Our own near close ones, we request God to take them away. Look at that, what the irony, or struggle for existence. Okay, now this also has been done, transmigration. It's explained here. Yeah, and the living entity acquires a material body, mind, and carries different conceptions of life from one body to the next. Analogy is that of the air. Okay, analogy. If it see a filth, cigarette is being smoked, then air will carry the cigarette smoke. If it's passing through Tulsi Vranda, garden, it will carry the Tulsi aroma. Okay, after a ninth, just 2 more shlokas. Who will the 4 people had raised their hands. Please pick one of them, Meenakshi.
Hare Krishna Mataji, they can take their turns simultaneously. No need to tell me that, yes, Mataji. Meenakshi Mataji, Momita Mataji is there. Hare Krishna.
Because
Hare
I can't
Krishna,
see them.
Mataji.
I would have myself told them I can't see them.
No, Mataji, Hare Krishna. They can do it themselves, Mataji.
You can
Yeah.
volunteer. Yeah, volunteer.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah.
Shrotam chakshuha sparshanam cha rasanam
Rasanam,
rasanam granameva cha
Pranam evacha.
adhishtaya manaschayam vishyan nu upasavate. The
Very
living
nice, Mataji.
entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind he does enjoy a particular set of sense object. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Now, depending on which body you are going to take, cats or dogs or snakes or tigers or giraffes. Giraffe, look at the giraffe irony, it actually goes, it eats the thorns and it thinks that the thorn, the mouth starts bleeding, it drinks its own blood. It's tasty, it enjoys it. Doesn't know it's its own blood, it's getting hurt. Even such a thing you can get. So whatever sort of body we actually, animal we are, we get such a particular body. Okay. Now this is actually what we see. Adhishtaya manas, that is situated in the mind. Okay. Now Shrotram, that is ear. Then Chakshuhu, that is eye. Sparshanam, sense of touch. Rasanam, tongue. And Granam, nose. A living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear. Therefore, not necessarily we are going to be born humans, no? We can be born as a dog or a cat too. So once we take that particular form of life, an animal, we will get a particular type of ear. It won't be like our ear. If an elephant is born, then elephant ears will be there, is it not? Rabbit ears, then eyes, okay? Then shining eyes in the case of wild animals, or beautiful eyes in the fish, okay? Tongue, nose, and then sense of touch, the skin, all under grouped under mind. That's what you get actually. If the living entity adulterates his consciousness, contaminates his consciousness with the qualities of cats and dogs, in his next life, he gets a cat or dog body and enjoys. But he enjoys, definitely. That God has made sure. He will not repent, They get their own enjoyment. They enjoy that only. That is Maya, again Maya. Consciousness is originally very pure, like water. But if we mix with water, any color, we get that color, same way. Similarly, consciousness is pure, air is pure, okay? But the spirit soul is also pure, okay? But consciousness is changed according to the association of the material qualities. And depending on what you are associated with, it changes, obviously. You are in good satsanga, you have good thoughts. We have got dussanga, you have got bad thoughts. Real consciousness is Krishna consciousness. In this state, one is in his pure life. When adulterated, he does not necessarily get a human body again. He can get anything come under 84 lakh species. Okay, it can be any sort of body. The last sloka, who will take this? The 10th one.
Hare Krishna. Sudha Mataji is there.
Oh yes, please, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Utkramantam sthitham vapi punjanam vagunanvitam vimudānānupashyanti pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in the knowledge can see all this.
Yeah. Now, if your eyes are trained, you can know which sort of body you're going to get. Knowledge is very important. Spiritual knowledge, not ordinary knowledge. So foolish cannot understand what is going to happen after he quits his body. But one in knowledge will have an idea about that. Okay? In fact, many of them, I don't know if you have also experienced that. Our elders, they have known when their end is going to come. They have prepared, and they would have said also my end has come. So how spiritual they are actually. So we see here, this person, this man, does not know the parts of the vehicle. He's actually worried, doesn't know what to do about it. Now this person is knowledgeable. He's just putting his hands and repairing the vehicle. So this is so the foolish cannot understand how the machinery is, but the wise man knows what is really what is what actually. The word jnana chakshuhu is very significant. This I discussed even in the last chapter. What is jnana chakshuhu? That is a spiritual drishti, okay? Eyes, spiritual eyes. Without knowledge, one cannot understand how a living entity leaves his present body, nor what form of body is going to take in the next life. Okay. Now, because we are into this study, in the spiritual study, we know this. Okay. Otherwise, it's not possible to know that. Okay. Nor even why he is living in a particular type of body. Why did I get this body? Why am I suffering? Especially, we have some different sufferings are there. Why am I suffering? If you are in knowledge, it is my past karma. Okay, you accept it. Okay, and then what do you do? Let us see our terrible suffering. What we do normally is, you separate the soul and the body. You say suffering is for the body, not for the soul. Okay, and on the contrary, you have to talk to your body. See, your soul, if you separate, soul has no pain. Okay, it is the best friend of the body. Okay, and eternal people say that after marriage, the husband and wife are soulmates. I don't agree with that. Soulmate is the body. The body that God gave us, the soul and body together, that is a soulmate. These people, they come later in life, husband or wife, that's different. So talk to your body. You pacify the body, your own body, your leg, your hand, your pain, your head, whatever it is. See, you do the best for it, do the best for it. And don't ill-treat it. I mean, don't say, some say all abuses and say, oh, horrible, it's troubling me. Don't say that. It's your good friend. It's been your soulmate. So that is knowledge. That is knowledge. Those who have developed spiritual knowledge, however, can see that the spirit is different from the body and is changing its body and enjoying in different ways. A person in such knowledge can understand how the conditioned living entity is suffering in this material existence. We know why we are suffering, okay? Then I accept it. Accept it, I think 99% problems are gone, okay? People need this knowledge as their conditional life is very much in trouble. Lord, very troublesome life they have got. A lot of miseries. They should come out of it and be Krishna conscious and liberate themselves and transfer to the spiritual world. Okay. I think we are done for the day. Yeah. So that's the end of the 10th shloka. Now we'll be doing from the 11th shloka next week on Saturday. And following that on Sunday, I have promised you, we'll not wait too long. We'll complete Goloka Vrindavana chart. And then following that, 16th, 17th, and 18th, last 3 chapters we'll be doing. Okay. So I'll say the last prayer, and the session is open for discussion. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha krupa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vrashtamul ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Hare Krishna. Stop sharing. You can ask me questions, okay? Yeah, I want to see all of you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. We
Hare
can
Krishna,
stop the
Mataji.
recording.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Good thing you told me that. Yeah, I'll stop.